is a great segment
Yeah.
to dive into about Olivia Rodrigo. So recently, she did an interview with, I believe it was Variety, and she was talking about the situations she occurred to have during her previous project, Sour. If you don't know what happened, essentially she lost a majority of her money because of copyright infringement. One for "Good for You," a song was everywhere.
Yeah.
Had interpolations of Paramore's um, I can't believe I'm forgetting the song, blah, blah, Misery Business. And
Yeah.
also her song as well,
It
Deja
is.
Vu, had interpolation for Taylor Swift's song Cruel Summer. And it's kind of like complex of what exactly happened. Apparently they tried to reach out beforehand, like one on one to make sure it was cool.
Yeah.
Of course, labels found out I'm like, we need that money. But whatever happened,
Yeah.
right? That's all drama. The fact is that both those songs lost 50% to each individual team. So I mean, she was just left with the extra 50%. Well, she's not even
Yeah.
getting because she needs to divide it up for her team. So that's where it occurred to me, like, when it comes to sampling, how should artists go about it? Whose fault is it? Is it the label? Is it the artist?
Yeah.
And I feel bad for her. She lost like millions, millions with an S of
Yeah.
dollars.
I'm honestly surprised. I feel like Paramore would be like the cool group to be like, oh, like this younger girl is like inspired by us. Like, yeah, let's
Mhm,
let her rock.
mhm.
But J. Cole does a whole rant on Note to Self at the end of 2014,
Yeah.
where he goes in a whole spiel about samples and how it's
Mhm,
fucked up. He's like, if you put your music into the world, you should let other artists use it. So
mhm,
on one hand, I get it, but I guess if you're an artist and someone's using your lines, you want to agree with their music. If you're like a country singer and a rap artist is
mhm.
using your music in a very violent song, you might say, "Hey, I don't want them to use this song." But I mean, I love samples so much, so I'm pro just let the artist cook. Let them use the
Yeah.
samples.
Let the artist cook. I agree. I
Let them
think so
cook.
too. It's so tough because, like, even I know you're about to say it as well. Good for You really sounds really familiar with
It does.
it
Yeah.
does, right? But I think at the same time it's like that period, that era has already happened. You made a bunch of money from that song already.
Yeah.
Do you really need to attack this new artist who added her own flavor to it just because it sounds similar and it has the same
Yeah.
chord progressions? And I know Ed Sheeran recently, right? He got sued by the Marvin Gaye estate and he luckily got
Yeah,
off,
but he
but that
won.
would have, yeah,
Yeah.
he won. Yeah.
And I know Sting is known to be someone who charges the most for his
She
samples. So
Juice
there's like
World.
Juice there's a story with so I forget the name of the song, but P. Diddy's song that tributes Biggie after Biggie passed
Yep.
away uses
Yeah, The
Sting,
Police.
and apparently he gets paid like $15,000 every day for
Mhm.
for that song.
Oh
Apparently he
my
takes like
god.
95% or maybe 100% of the song. Like certain artists are known, like if you're gonna use that person's song, they're gonna take the whole thing. And
That
other artists are
is
chill and they let them use it.
Do you not think that's a little bit extreme?
Yeah, I think it's extreme.
Shout out to Sting, though. I love The Police, one of my favorite bands of all time, but
Yeah.
still, holy moly. Man, that's
I
crazy.
I don't know how it feels if you make a song, then 20 years later, someone makes a hit song
Mhm,
utilizing what you wrote. Maybe you do I would get why you would feel entitled
mhm,
to say, "I deserve something from this because you're using my
yeah,
stuff."
mhm,
And if you interpolate someone's lyrics, I was actually talking to someone who does the law side of music labels,
mhm,
and if Jay-Z uses a line from Slick Rick, they
mhm,
have to reach out to Slick Rick's people and
mhm,
compensate him. Then now Slick Rick is a writer on that song.
yeah,
So I think he used it like a Playboy Cardi song, so people saw that Playboy Cardi was credited, like, "Whoa,
mhm,
why is he credited?" It's because he
yeah.
interpolated his lyrics, so you gotta credit him.
Yeah, and that's just a good team, right? So for Olivia Rodrigo, her unique scenario was the fact that she had the credits after it got big, after it
Yeah,
got those numbers and streams. So she had to, I'm pretty sure she also had to include fees and penalties and things like that for not including it
yeah.
beforehand. And I think that
That's
has to
why
be the label's fault, right? I wouldn't, to me, it's not Olivia
yeah,
Rodrigo who copied. It's the team and the industry producers around her who literally gave her the beat and
yeah.
whatnot and the ideas to make it.
I don't I don't even know if she wrote the song.
Mhm.
If she didn't
She
write it,
did.
it's
Respect
definitely
to
not her
Olivia,
fault.
she did. She did write it.
She wrote it.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely the label's fault. That's why you
Mhm,
get a label because they have the backing of all these
mhm,
they have a whole law unit that is their job is to find
mhm.
these samples and figure it out. That
Yeah.
sucks because it probably could have got figured out beforehand
Mhm.
and worked out better.
Yeah, and basically
That
within the
sucks.
interview as well, basically they asked her, "How do you feel about that, and did that affect your process making her upcoming album, Guts?" And she said, "Of course, like, it's whatever. I learned what the
Yeah.
realities of the business industry are, right? I'm a lot more smarter. I was naive." And her recent song, if you heard of it, Vampire, it's been, like, everywhere, blowing up on
Oh, yeah,
TikTok and
yeah, yeah,
whatnot.
no.
Great song, by the
Yeah.
way. And people are insinuating that the song has a diss towards Taylor. She's the
Really?
bloodsucker
Okay.
because,
Yeah, I
yeah,
saw it.
she I won't talk about the
So
drama, but
hey,
you know what it is,
sometimes
right?
and sometimes artists use lyrics not even knowing that they're
Mhm.
using other person's words, they just
Mhm.
subconsciously are like, "Oh, this sounds good."
Yep.
It's like, "Oh, it's probably because you heard it in a Jay-Z song."
Yeah.
So that's like so this kid I was talking to who works for the law side of the label
Mhm.
was saying that some of the people he works with are so good at hearing samples, like, they just have that
Wow.
skill, they hear a line and they know, like, that wasn't your line. Like, we gotta figure out who wrote that.
Man.
But
But
you
hey,
would think they have some type of program where you enter the song in and it could, like,
I was
figure
gonna
out
say with
the
AI,
sample.
they probably could or can figure out the chord progression or
Yeah.
anything like that. Whew, scary hours, man, but